Tim, we've got Tim and Robert Gerard, and Robert is our Chief Operating Officer of BlockCerts Blockchain. We're going to be talking about decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs, today. And we have Mr. Tim Vasco, who's the CEO and founder of BlockCerts Blockchain. Good morning, gentlemen.
How you doing, Dan?
Good, Dan. How are you?
Great, thanks. I'm gonna have to go get a new link for our video. We'll show that here in a minute. But so just to frame this up, you know, Web 3.0. Everyone's talking about Web 3.0. And I was talking to somebody yesterday that said, you know, Web 3.0 shouldn't just be about some kind of goggles you put on or some kind of emoji that is going back and forth between different people. It should be something that's really functional. And we were talking about the functionality that we've already embedded into our solution. And we're actually going to show you some of that today, and how every smart contract can become a DAO, the governance behind it, how you can expand from a few people to thousands, and really the new business model that many new business models that can be arrived from setting this up through a smart contract. So Tim, I'll kick that over to you while I go find this video here.
Well, I think that, thanks, Dan. I think part of the problem is people are so kind of desensitized to what is Web 3.0 and all the buzz and hype and, you know, wildness that we've had over the last several years, 3, 4, 5 years now, of crypto, ICO, and so forth. And what keeps getting lost is Web 3.0 is a fundamental shift in the way business meets technology. That's it. It's just very, very simple to say that. To do it, I've said 1,000 times, it's taken us millions of hours to do this. And what I'm going to show you is how we've done it and how it actually works today. And from here on out, at the world from here, we talk a lot about what's going on in the world. I'm going to try and make a relationship for everybody that ever watches this, because I don't want to be the guy that says, you didn't tell me. I'm going to tell you why stuff happens. I'm going to tell you how it works. I'm going to show you what we've created at BlockCerts to make sure that Web 3.0 is functional. Exactly that. And awesome. So the old song in my head, this will show my age. What a difference a DAO makes, right?
For sure.
And that's what we're going to talk about, is what a difference the DAO makes in business. But first of all, you know, what I want to do is give a highlight of why that's so critical. And I think it became really apparent about the critical nature of what's going on in the world when we talk about the stable coin that lost its peg over the weekend, and $1.5 billion was lost. Now think about that. You got people who are thinking of this in terms of a savings account or something like that, and all of a sudden it just crashed and your savings is gone. All right. So the way that the markets work right now and have evolved in the crypto world and the blockchain world is a market of high volatility. DAOs, and the big misunderstanding, the huge misunderstanding about decentralized and distributed technology and centralized distributed technology is this: everything at some point is centralized. Everything. And it will never, ever be until during our lifetime. And I'm talking about our lifetime being ours, the older generation, and the young people. It will never be that people don't start the process. As soon as somebody starts the process, it's centralized. As Correct. Soon as you organize, it's centralized. As soon as you meet with somebody, you're centralizing at least some proponent of it, some small part of it. Even if you're trying to decentralize, you centralize first to decentralize. So that's a big misunderstanding. The second big misunderstanding is this idea of the DAO, the Decentralized Autonomous Organization. In theory, the original DAO, 2016, was a great theory, and it immediately failed. It immediately crashed. It went up. $200 million was raised in a week. And one description of a DAO is it's a bank account with joint ownership, right? That's one description of the DAO. Well, that's true, but what happens when somebody comes in and hacks, which is exactly what happened in 2016, that smart contract, and then the Ethereum Federation thought about it, and thought, well, we're decentralized, but we can roll it back. And that's what they did.
Right.
Centralized authority took over, decentralized authority, and it created a rift in the economy. It actually created a hard fork of Ethereum, and boom. So there was another comment by the founder of Ethereum that said, well, really we should act like, think of the FDIC, and deposits are insured for $250,000. That's what should happen with this UST crash. Well, wait a minute. Isn't that government thing kind of a centralized thing?
Exactly.
Kind of, yeah.
So it wasn't a wrong comment. It was poorly thought through for explaining that this will always be a hybrid. It will always be a hybrid. So what we're going to show you today is how we've created the ability for every business, every entity, every project, every NFT. I'm just telling, just not all today, but we're going to take you through this with World from here of how you start something in Web 3.0, how you get there, and then you make decisions. This will be a DAO. This will be a decentralized automated organization. This will be a DAO with an NFT, maybe. This will be, and it starts with a foundation of Web 3.0. That's what hasn't existed before BlockCerts.
Yeah, and Tim, just to
foundation
kind of frame this up, let's think about the past, which the past is today for most people, and that is sending a contract via a 40-year-old email system that is being hacked, and links are being shared, waiting for somebody or having to call somebody because you don't know if they've looked at it or not. And collaboration is nil because you send something that can't be collaborated on, and you're waiting for something to be sent back. There's nothing that's attached to it. There's nothing that is connected to it that could create a DAO, that could create governance or any kind of
that's right.
pieces here. So that's what is available today, except for what we're talking about today.
Well, and Dan, that's what we're going to demo today is exactly that. So why don't we get started on that? Because I've gotten a lot of feedback from people who watch the world from here and have asked us, well, if this really is possible, show us. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay.
Yeah. So we're talking to you, Alan. We're talking to you, Kathy, and
yeah. And
Bobby.
we're gonna get this up here. Let me get this up and start with the wallet. So the first thing is, we always tell you to download your wallet. So download your wallet. And I am going to open mine. I'm going to open a sample here. Okay. So here's my wallet. And when I do that, the first thing I'm doing in this wallet is I'm identifying myself, I'm creating a vault, and I'm putting in my security. Those three things. Right now at BlockCerts, we make that free. This takes a token to do this. This is called the utility token. It takes one cert to do that. We're giving those away right now. We won't always do that, but we're giving them away right now. Okay, once you've authenticated, and I'm going to show you how a DAO actually starts. All right, and it starts from something as simple as a chat, right? And at BlockCerts, chats are not simple. So I'm going to go here, and what you're looking at is me mining or creating blocks with this certification contract. But in the meantime, I'm over here, and I'm going to open up this channel, and I know that Bob and Dan, you're on this channel. I'm going to say, hi, guys. Welcome to the world from here. And there you are, Dan and Bob are typing, and that's like basic technology, right? Yes and no. What we've just done, because we have our wallet, is created the foundation of a DAO-based business. And you can't see that here. It doesn't make sense to you right now. Well, when I look at this little tool, which I'll take into the back end in a minute, because you go to the next step and get access to that back end, your DAO, that you just created this possibility of anything you want to do being completely connected to the blockchain. But when you do that, we've got a couple of tools over here that allow us to actually go in through Wallet Connect into the main Ethereum. So we can be working directly in Ethereum. We can also be on some kind of a specific exchange. At this point, we've integrated Coinbase. And all of this crypto stuff over here, all of this kind of trading stuff and so forth, trading and swapping and those kinds of things enable you to go from your utility or your DAO into that large kind of market that you know about today. So that's the first thing. Now, all the tools are here, but what's different with BlockCerts is we use traditional everyday tools like we're doing right now. You can't do that with Zoom. You can't do that with Slack or WhatsApp. You can't do that by doing a KYC with a standard database KYC identifier. And you certainly can't do that, Dan, as you were talking about with DocuSign or Shopify or Dropbox or any of those.
Correct.
Okay?
Correct.
So when you click this and you see these tools up here, all of these aggregate to create a DAO. What's actually happening? Let me show you what's actually happening. So I go back over here. Did you guys answer me on that? So let's
we did.
Yeah.
And I want everybody
so
to know.
Hey, Tim, I'm here as well. Dan, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm just going to say, let's talk about DAOs.
And just so everybody knows, this, what we call activity, it's like a channel, you know, like any other channel you have. But what is different is that the only individuals that can get into this channel are those that have authenticated themselves initially. So Bob and Tim and I. So this is a closed channel, a private cloud, a private space where only we can discuss, collaborate, etc., unless we invite someone else into this.
And plus, we have to be invited, so you can create a channel that you're not invited to and you can't see them.
Correct.
Well, and so this kind of gets into this idea, and you can see we're using the trustonomics instance here. This is that idea of trustonomics, all right?
Yeah.
And a DAO, if you think about it, why would you create a distributed autonomous organization? Because it becomes what that word is out there, trustless.
Right.
The function of the algorithm and the code behind that actually create what's going to happen. So by the virtue of this exact tool, oh, look, James showed up. I invited him. Hi, James. How are you? So by the virtue of us creating this, we're now creating that trust and transparency that we always talk about at BlockCerts, and truth. There's a single source of truth. That's the distributed ledger. That's what made Bitcoin possible, right? So this is a really advanced version of what Bitcoin and Ethereum were. Remember, those companies, those organizations, those DAOs, if you will, or Turing complete, which is what is the definition of a complete machine. Those had one function. They had one thing, a coin, a token. This is a massive amount of function, but it's the functions we use every single day. James just said, I'm great. Thank you for the invite. In front of me, on my, which you can't see, on my mobile device, I got the notification. All that's happening. You're used to that. Here's what you're not seeing behind the scenes, but you can if you have an instance on work certain. And anybody can do this today. When I'm in here, I'm going to go back here, and this transaction history that you're looking at right here, and I'm going to click on this link, is actually now created a hash or a block. And that block is going to open up and give us a view of that transaction. And let me move that over here so you can see it right here. Okay. That's actually what we're doing right now at the moment, that nobody can really tell or read. Okay. Now this happens on blockchain every single day, except for the fact that all of that mining, all of that stuff that's going on out there has zero work value.
Right.
All it does is generate fees. So it's frankly worse than the banks. How is it worse than the banks? We're going to talk about this in the next world from here, but here's a little spoiler alert. Real estate transactions could never possibly happen the way NFTs and Ethereum are set up now on the Ethereum network, because when Bored Ape Yacht Club dropped their virtual land, there was an actual transaction that we will show that was $25 for an NFT, and the fees were $3,300, guys. $3,300. Meaning,
just a bit of a spike.
You know what? Go back to the banks and give them their 3% for your ATM fee. It's a better deal.
Right.
Like, seriously, it has no practical function when there's volume and so forth. This is actually a block that's been created. There's the block, there's the hash. It's been created from this actual transaction going on. So how do I know that? How do I know what's going on? And how does that all relate to a DAO? Now I'm going to go into the back end here. So give me a minute, and I'm going to open up the back end. Okay. And when I do that, what you're going to see is this.
And we're showing you a lot of back end here. So that's something you wouldn't necessarily always go back and look at. But as Tim says quite frequently, you don't really care about with Netflix how your streaming gets there. It's very complex algorithms for video and voice.
I'm not going to go that back end, Dan.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah. But
not that far back.
On the actual Work Certain app, we're using Trustonomics here. But on the actual Work Certain app, you have this kind of list. I've got a bunch of functions here. You'd have this list of functions, and this is just your IM, like any other IM you'd be used to. But from that wallet, everything that's happening here, it's the exact same thing. James is famous now. There's Jules showed up. I invited him. Jules is our guy that makes all this Meet Certain stuff happen. Well, we're live here at the World from Here. James showed up. There's Dan, Bob. All of this is going on. Looks like Bob wants me to sign something, to view a document. Okay. Well, guess what? If I click this, that's where the magic is actually happening, is behind the scenes here. You've got this massive amount of functionality. Everything in that typical little chat you started is your DAO. It's the foundation of what a DAO is. And the reason, before I show you that, let me show you all the things you can do here. You can have details right here. You can show this on a private channel to let other people be involved. So this channel can actually become a social media channel like Reddit or Discord quite easily. We can show some custom designs. We can do spreadsheets. We can and collaborate on those. We can share activity files and all of the different things we want to share there. And we can have the people who are actually invited, and I can give them permissions to do or permissions not to do certain things within this channel. And behind that is the state machine that I don't actually have attached right now. And we'll get into the detail. That's actually how the DAO is run. Okay. So when I do that, I'm back here at my channel. When I look at this, everything is being recorded out here. So from that block I showed you, right? So let me go back. I'll open that again. And I think I've got it here. Okay. So when I open this and I see this block, back here is all the detail, and I have permission to view it. So there's literally everything that happened from the moment I created this channel way back March 8th, 5:28 a.m. You can see how much sleep I get, all the way to the last thing that happened and who viewed it and so forth. That is embedded now, and it's a single source of truth. It's the trust. Now, all we have to do to become the DAO is add in a few little elements based on what happens or where something is supposed to occur, which I'll explain in a minute. And when that happens, your DAO kicks in and it's autonomous. This is the contract I agreed to with Bob. This is the type of thing that should happen. And I don't have to trust that he will do it. He doesn't have to trust that I will do it. It just happens. That is a DAO. That is autonomous. So the entire organization of human history will probably never, ever become a DAO. In fact, is that really what we want? Then we're kind of into the Terminator world, right?
Yeah.
What
AI.
really functionally we built is a way to use this for business. The way to use this for your personal relationships, your intellectual property, all of that kind of stuff. So if I go back over here, if I want to run this against a NFT, I can now do that by running what did I do? I had my link shortener come in and it blocked me. That's another good thing you guys should know about is we do have security built in. So let me go and see if I can get that again. Okay. So NFT certain. So anything that it's not going to trust, we will tell you about that. All right. So let's go in here, and NFT certain can be linked into that. So if you have your NFTs and you want to relate that to this should happen or shouldn't happen, like that block, so your NFT doesn't get ripped off, you can do that with BlockCerts, right?
Yep. And then Tim, also just one quick note is that everybody that you showed there that you've invited, there are different levels of access. So you can have maybe an attorney or attorneys that have view only access. You have others that have signature access. So you're in complete control of who can do what and see what.
Right. Once you're the owner, and that's what I was explaining here. Thanks for pointing that out, Dan. Is once you're the owner, you can go in there and you can set what level of access these people have.
Right.
They can discuss things. They can RSVP. They can upload files. They can see others. They can invite others. They can modify or not. They can't do anything but just participate and watch. You can do that too. Okay. For all of this stuff. So it's all permission based and controlled. All right. So when we're doing this and we're logging everything and we're putting it up there, guess what? There's never any opinion or reinvented history about what actually happened. And that happens in business, especially in business and contract disputes all the time.
Yeah, right? That word intent. Well, we didn't intend to do that, or we didn't. Well, it shows exactly what you intended to do.
Right.
So what will actually happen now in business and in the future is that these kinds of things, when I view a document, sign a document, do something like that, which I'm going to do right now. Bob sent me this NDA. Did I want to sign it? He wants me to sign it. And maybe he wants me to initial every page. So I'll just put in Tim Dasco and I will sign right here. I'm going to do an initial and I'll call it my initial. And I'm going to confirm it. And I'm going to place it right here on the page where Bob wants me to. That's it. And I've just documented that that was actually me who came in. If I wanted Bob to actually watch me do that, while I'm doing that, witness my signature, and he can see it, and record the encryption. This is, you don't even need notaries anymore.
Right.
I can do that by simply going over here, clicking on this, starting a video meeting, and right there, Bob or all of these guys can become a witness, and I can start the meeting, which I'm not going to do because it sometimes echoes really bad.
Yeah.
And when I do that, they can witness it, we record it, and there's no question that I, Tim, actually signed that document.
Yeah.
And
Right?
while you're doing that, Tim, on my phone, I get notification just like Bob does. And so there's no question of when something's been signed, or did somebody sign it, or have they even looked at it. So everybody that's a part of this
I'm going to finish it. So
yeah.
That's right. So Dan's watching this. That's the other thing, is efficiency. I don't need this coming across in my email box. And the other thing is I don't actually need to file this anywhere in a separate place. This is now all tracked, automatically filed, all in one place. And as soon as I execute that, if that process flow chain, which is one of the very early patents we worked on, this process flow chain is tied into this, and I'm saving this now, okay? That's documented. And if that signature triggered terms in a contract, a smart contract, a DAO smart contract to be executed, and it said, I'm going to pay on this date, I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to execute on this, the only way you can change that is if the actual people behind that all agree with consensus and say, everybody who's part of this, everybody who signed this said, we're going to do this differently. Now, just like any other thing, you now have your document. You can download that contract right here. It will open up. It will save on your computer. It's a PDF like everything else. But on the back end, that is now all signed. You can see that it's signed. It's been updated. Everybody here knows that.
I was going to say, and Tim, I got a notification says, Tim Basco document updated and signed. So now I know you signed it, so I can go in and countersign it.
That's right. And so all of that is sitting there, and my log tracks everything, the digital document, demo NDA, everything happening right there. And it's on the blockchain. That's Web 3.0. Now, I want to point out one other really critical thing about this little metaverse I just showed you, because that's the real metaverse. That's the real life meets digital.
It is.
And what I just showed you is from my wallet to here, I never, and I want everybody to understand one really important inconvenience in today's world. From here to here to here to here to all of these different places, no matter what I do to this wallet, I logged in once. One time. It was always me. In order to do what I just did, share a document, do a message, do a meeting, do a signing, do storage, and return it via email in Web 2.0, I would have had to have at least 7 logins, 7 different pieces of software. This is not third-party software. This is all DApps, or distributed applications, that the user controls, as well as can log in with their one private key through what I started out showing you up here, which is their vault and their ID. So once you're authenticated, you can go through the entire universe of applications and tools you actually use every day. And now you have Web 3.0. So the easy way to tell if it's Web 2.0 or Web 3.0 is this. Do you have to log in more than once? If you have to log in more than once, you're still in Web 2.0. And the deep fake of the Web 3.0 market today, I guess I can use that term, deep fake is there is no real Web 3.0 except what I just showed you. Because almost every single thing, exchanges, all of those things have Web 2.0 components serving some portion, mainly trading and speculation of Web 3.0. That's it. That's where DAOs start. I just showed you DAO in a box, if you will. That's it. And once you go there, then you build your business model and you decide, what am I going to automate or make autonomous so it becomes trustless? There. So everybody asked me how it actually works. That's how it actually works. At BlockCerts, we run the entire company this way. The entire company is run this way all over the world, 15, 16 countries now. I don't even remember. I lose track. 5 continents, all over the world. Anybody ever, most of the times when I ask a question about,
you know the answer.
I already know the answer. I just ask a question because sometimes it's polite or it's kind of fun to see if somebody's going to lie. I don't know.
And your executed documents there now. So,
yeah. So do you want to show your screen, Bob, and just show what you're seeing?
I've executed. I can show what, let me move that screen over.
Either one of us can show it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the past, everyone thinks in terms of blockchain, meaning you need to have programmers to do a smart contract. You have to have, developers, etc. So we have just taken a full suite of solutions, proprietary solutions, put them into one place. And as Tim said, it's one-click work, and everything supports the discussions you have. Everything supports the contract you have. And you can load videos, you can load other information to support that specific smart contract and that specific DAO.
That's right. So there you go. There's Bob's signature, initials, everything else. It's done. It's recorded. It's on the blockchain. It's all been stored immutably. There can never be a question about whether or not we now have a signed NDA.
Right.
All right. Things like the practical stuff about that then becomes, okay, well, in this NDA, are there certain things like now, if I'm sharing information in this channel, you just saw a link get blocked. And if I say that's a confidential document and somebody tries to pick up that link and share it, you saw earlier in this, you can roll back in the video where it said, nope, the server's not going to let you do that. We got to make that screen a little prettier, but that's what was going on. It's got a security permission protocol behind it. So this is the idea and the concept of making Web 3.0 secure, private, giving the users full authority over all of their data. The only data, and transparency is another thing. Thanks, Bob. You can stop sharing now. But transparency is another thing people don't understand. What does transparency mean? Transparency means that that block exists for anybody to search. But, and I'll show you one little hook here, if you don't want somebody to know what the transaction is, just that it's been certified by BlockCerts and it's there, your source is not going to be available. If, however, you want somebody, say a customer, to know this is an authentic, I don't know, coffee bean that is fairly farmed and traded, you can put your source there and we can deliver all the way back your trusted brand information. So down to the farmer who provided that, you can actually see and advertise that you can be trusted. You're telling the truth. It's not just a hacked coffee bean or a hacked bottle of wine. It actually came from here, the point of origin. Now, that's your business model. That's the stuff we try and explain to people every single day. And as Dan said, everything I showed you is out of the box. Coding your business model, that brilliance of entrepreneurial spirit, that idea that Humans should be competitive and do really cool stuff and come up with really cool ideas. We talk to people that have cool ideas all the time. The only question I always ask them is, you want to try and code that?
Spend the next 5 years?
Ever.
No way. Well, and Tim, there are a couple of points I want to make here. I read a statistic that of the Fortune 500 firms, 30% of revenues go to legal to represent contracts, disputes, issues. Now, just think about discovery in the future. Discovery, when you have somebody who signed it via video, so you see them sign it.
Legal discovery is what.
Legal discovery, yes. And you see location level, you see where they signed it. So Bob signed it from where he is in Texas as an example. And you've got all the information of going back and forth that can be tracked. It is tracked, and everybody has access to that was a party to the contract. So from before you even get to legal discovery, it will take care of many issues of intent, many issues of a contract, and it also helps internally to make sure that you're performing based on a contract, because you put other people involved in that into this so that you make sure that certain things happen when they're supposed to happen.
The DAO model, and you're exactly right, Dan, when we were building this out and explaining to people this is what it would do, what it does today.
Right.
One of the things that will use artificial intelligence is this idea of the law. And I've explained this to some of the largest law firms in the world, some governments. I've explained it to central banks. You don't go in and change the model you have today. You go in and automate or make autonomous the social model that relies on these fundamentals. You can do this with voting. You can do this with anything, and get rid of all of this fake vote, fake whatever stuff, fake information. It eliminates it. But there's so much data today that, and one of our really brilliant data scientists that's working on some really cool stuff with us now knows this, has worked at government levels and things like that, but that we can't talk about. But anyway, the idea of AI and what machine learning and AI actually is, and deep neural networks and things like that. What will happen is, at the end of the day, what we'll see is Bob says this, Tim says that, Dan says this, click, and the AI engine's going to go say, this is what the intent is. This is what you guys all did during this track, because it's all tracked. And this is the case law that applies to this, down to 3 or 4 cases, which today could take years, will be done in minutes. And it'll say, Bob, you're going to lose. And it's just that simple.
Yep, game over.
At this point, boom, boom, boom. This is what you should have done. This is what the other 2 guys did. And Bob, sorry, but you're wrong. Now, what do you think Bob's going to do? Go spend, he could go spend.
Still argue, but.
Still, because of his ego or whatever drives him, try and spend you out of court. But if he does, at least in Canada, you can actually go after him to pay your legal fees. So up here in Canada, we have this thing which is loser pay laws. So I'm going to say, okay, fill your boots, Bob. Not only that, I can make him in Canada post my fees in advance. So if I say, okay, you want to keep going? Judge, make him put up $100,000 because I'm going to have to fight this. And then he's going to have to, that $100,000 is prepaid. That is a real law here in Canada. And believe me, it will totally, Dan, get rid of all of this BS that deep pockets win lawsuits.
Right.
Now, my question philosophically from a social standpoint is, do the centralized guys with deep pockets want that?
Of course not.
Do they want to adopt this kind of technology? That's for another world from here.
Right. Yep.
What I've shown you today is possible today at BlockCerts.
Well, and Tim, I just think about Bored Apes that are being stolen. I think about purchasing NFTs, purchasing anything. Wouldn't you, if you're going to pay $250,000 for something, want to have something that you know is recorded on video and all the things that we just shared here to protect yourself? I can't imagine doing something online with anything of substance without doing something like this.
Well, it's so big. We're out of time today,
Yeah.
Dan and Bob. Thank you for participating and joining my little DAO channel here.
That's right. Thank you.
Go, for anybody that's out there watching, go download a wallet, start there. Go set up your WorkCert instance, start there. This is all live. And, get involved. One thing, none of this happens without a token. You have to have a BCertain token, at least a little bit, because it all runs through Ink. We'll get into that. But in the future, what you just said, Dan, is we're going to show how people can protect themselves from getting ripped off, right? With current technology we have today. We're going to show how this all works to your advantage as the user against having your data, what do you always like to say, Dan? Hacked, tracked, and hijacked.
Hijacked. Yeah, and I know you hate that, but
I hate it because it's all negative, right?
Right.
But you're a marketing guy. You're not supposed to say negative stuff.
No.
But it's so true, and that's exactly what's happening to these people that are getting their NFTs stolen, hacked, tracked, hijacked. I'm even going to explain how that happens and how our tech right now, that wallet you have that I showed you today, will stop that from ever happening again to you. Think about that. That's trust. That's trust, truth, and transparency. That means what you have is yours. And that vault that I just glazed over it stops all of that.
All right.
it does. And Tim, just a quick shout out, go to blockcerts.com. You can download your own wallet to begin. And as you said, Tim, we're currently doing airdrop so that you can get free tokens to start playing with this, and
we want this to very long. Everybody. We want everybody to have this opportunity, as many people as possible. Just like any other centralized business, we've got overhead. So when you buy tokens, you support the business operations. You're actually buying our products, and we're centralized right now to build that out for you as we decentralize and give this to the market. So again, join us if you like this kind of content. Thumbs up, subscribe, and the future is going to be really, really cool. I've never been more energized because it's all just so seamless and working. And you know what I do every day, I just sometimes actually Jules said that the other day.
I know. I was just
going to say that.
Even imagine how easy it is for me to collaborate all over the world and how I could do this any other way. So thanks, Jules, for that, and for this amazing platform you've put up. All by the way, on the blockchain. And the BlockCerts blockchain is truly operational and functional and exciting. Got some really cool stuff coming up. Like this is just the beginning. We haven't even shown you the cool stuff yet.
Well, this is the blocking and tackling that everybody needs. Yeah. I mean, this eliminates the 40 years worth of email and things that are being tracked, hacked, and hijacked, and moving you into
you got to use it. You got to use
it. So we'll let everybody go here. So thanks for joining us, everyone. And again, click the thumbs up, as Tim said, and join us if you haven't already subscribed. And have a great
and give us more comments. Look, we wouldn't have been doing this and showing you how DAOs actually work or things like that if you didn't ask us. So ask us, because now we know. You want to know how to do it? This is the place to be. This is the channel to be on. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I promised a new exit, but I didn't come up with it yet. So how about that? What a difference the DAO makes.
The day of the DAO. Thanks, everybody.
Take care.